All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. You ready for some high-speed action tonight? Let's step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Lime Rock Park. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League GT3 Series visits Lime Rock Park, a great track. 50-minute race here tonight. It's race number 2 in that GT3 Series season. This thing is flat out, man. Tell you what, a mile and a half, short road course, but very challenging and very fun. Who's got what it takes to take home the victory here at Lime Rock Park? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is monitor it right here at TurnLeftTV. Well, some GT3 cars hitting your airwaves today. Lime Rock Park, the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series, and TurnLeftTV. Hang on, boys and girls. All right, hey, thank you so much for coming in and joining us here on TurnLeftTV. Appreciate you being here. Right now in the qualification session. This is the second race of an 8-race season, Lime Rock Park. Mile and a half course, 2.4 kilometers in length, 50 minutes race here tonight. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator. Thank you so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. So we got a good one for you here tonight. Let's take a look at the track at Lime Rock. It's a little fuzzy right there, isn't it? Location, Lakeville, Connecticut, up in the hills of Connecticut, right off the Appalachian Trail. Length 1.5 miles in length, 2.41 kilometers, 7 turns. And I'll tell you what, man, I think 6 and 7 are the hardest turns. Very high speed, and it's easy to get off the track there. So a fun track at Lime Rock, and excited about this race today. Thank you so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Peace to everybody out there. Hope everybody is behaving. I don't know what's going on there, but we got a lot of fuzzy going on. But hey, thanks for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. We'll see if we can't cure that a little bit. Spread it out. Nope, that's not working. Anyway, you get what's going on. It's the internet. But thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. And also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I encourage you to do so. Go up there in the description of the channel and hit that subscribe button. And then also, if you want to go down into the description of the race and follow that Fanatec link over to their site and help me out there, that would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you're interested in purchasing something, please use that link and help me out. And thanks to all those folks who have done so. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the support. And again, share my videos with all your friends on any social media platform. And we've got a race here for you tonight at Lime Rock Park. Man, this is a fun track. One of those gyms, I think, that not a lot of people know about, but it is a fantastic course. So should be a great race. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in an rFactor 2 server to suit your needs, there are 3 self-managed server packages available, not only here in the United States, but also all around the world, any region of the world where you can, where you're interested in, or where you live and you're interested in hosting a server, we can set you up with one. So that's EliteHostingUSA.com. Well, the schedule here in the GT3 series, Lime Rock Park is the second race of the season. Okayama, we took a time off last week to run a special event. We had some guys who were also participating in another event that couldn't be here. Next week, I got Okayama on July the 24th. Daytona night race coming up on July the 31st. Road Atlanta on August the 7th to see Watkins Glen. August the 14th, Hockenheim Ring on the 21st of August, and then Spa to finish out the season on August the 28th. So a good season there headed your way. Later tonight, we have the High Octane Racing League Saturday Night Thunder in action at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. 120 laps on that very, very challenging short course. I'd say I call that a mid to short track. 120 laps at that flat track, we'll put it that way. It is going to be tough on tires and tough on nerves. It's race number 3. And if you're interested in joining up and racing with us Saturday Night Thunder style in the Cup Series, come on out. We'd love to have you. We'll take a look at the standings coming into tonight's race with the one race under the belt. Nikolai Bezhikov with that win last race puts him at the top of the grid. Pedro Gomez, second in points. Alexander Zakharov is third in points. Dennis Vandeven, fourth. Michael Brooks, fifth in points. Colin Madiak, sixth. You see Krill Pryton, seventh in points, tied with Lucas Simpfner. Wayne Newton is ninth in points. And then Zachman Casey comes into tonight 10th in points. The High Octane Racing League Bushwhacker Series will be back in action next Friday, July the 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Riverside International. 35 laps at that very, very fun road course. Man, we really wish this track really still existed in real life. It was a great track, but we still have it in the virtual world, and it is a fantastic track, not only for stock cars, but a lot of different types of cars, man. It's just a really, really fun track. So that's going to be live right here on TurnLeftTV. You do not want to miss it, man. Riverside International in the Bushwhackers Xfinity Series. A short field here today. Interesting. See the qualification results. It's like 8. We actually have 8 drivers, I believe. Alexander Tederkin, top time there in the 07 car. Will Dunbar qualifies in the second position. Claudio Bardelli Jr. third. Zachman Casey qualifies fourth. Dennis Yashenko qualifies fifth. Spencer Romo sixth. Dan Richter qualifies in the seventh position. We got one guy who did not qualify, and that would be Antti Rossi. I don't know why Antti Rossi's not coming up here on the old readout here. We'll see. What's that? There we go. So there's the qualification results. Looks like Andy doesn't have his class of his car categorized right. Todd Robillard joining us in the chat session, so thanks so much for coming in here. Todd, we'd like to see you out on track sometime in that GT3 series. That'd be awesome. So we're going to roll it over to the warm-up session, it looks like. Got a 10-minute warm-up session. Might have a few more drivers join up during the warm-up. We'll take a look at the keys to the race. Wow, keys to the race. Race the track, man. This is a deceptively difficult track in a few of these turns. It doesn't seem to be a hugely technical track, and I would argue that's the case, but definitely race the track. It is going to be tight, high speed. Manage your tires, man. Don't overdrive the car. Manage your tires. It's going to be really important getting around some of these high-speed turns. Make sure you monitor your braking points. Hit your braking points, especially in the chicane. Can be a little difficult there, so definitely want to monitor your braking points. And then be brave, man, because turns 6 and 7, very, very challenging. They are high speed, but you got to be brave, man. Hit your marks, but be brave on getting around this track because there's really no time to relax here at Lime Rock Park. So those are my keys to the race. Race the track, manage your tires, hit your braking points, and then be brave, man. That's the way you're going to win this race, is taking a few risks. So right now we are in the warm-up session. So about 7.5 minutes left in warm-up. Some word, some guys are having some trouble with rFactor 2 and Steam today. Very interesting. Not surprising, but interesting nonetheless. Make sure our side-by-side view is working. We usually check that. It looks like it's working just fine, so that's good news. And again, hey, thanks for coming in. And don't forget to go down into the description of this race and follow that over to the Fanatec website, that link there. And also there's a link to PayPal if you'd like to make a donation. And as well as our Discord. There's the Discord address right there if you're interested in joining High Octane Racing League. My two Discord addresses are there below as well. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can also follow me on Twitter at TurnLeftTV and at TurnLeftTV1 on Facebook. Get updates when races are coming up. So this is going to be a fun race, man. We got about 5 minutes left in the warm-up session, and a lot of fun, man. This track is, like I said, high speed, no time to rest here. It's not a hugely technical track, but man, it is just, pardon my French, balls out, man. So should be a fun race, man. Lime Rock Park is a very fun track. So I'm excited about this one, as always. Bartelli Jr. there coming off track. Take a look at Zach Mancasi here in the 29 car in the Porsche. Actually, it shows him at the 29, but he's classified as a 37. Very interesting. It's rFactor 2, man. Dan Richter joining us as well tonight here. He's driving the Ferrari. A little under 2 minutes left to go in the warm-up session. All right, boys and girls, it is that time. Lime Rock Park. 50-minute race here tonight. Should be a lot of fun, man. So kind of a small field here tonight. I know I had a lot of people email me or sent me messages saying they had to work or couldn't be here this evening, so a little tough gig there, but that's all right. So it looks like one of the drivers had a little trouble getting in here. It looks like the stream was cut off there, so that's nice. Things working in our favor here tonight. So we're waiting on a driver here to come in. It looks like he had gotten disconnected here. So. All right, I think we're going for real this time. Hopefully we won't get disconnected again. Looks like we're getting some drop frames in the stream a little bit here. So stuff going on here. So it looks like one of the drivers has troubles with their skin. So it does look like somebody has a little driver or skin issue here that they're trying to take care of. So we're just waiting on a driver to come back in. I know people that may be monitoring the live stream, there's some issues there with drop frames and so forth. Don't worry, there'll be a hard copy upload. All right, here we go. I think it's for real this time. For real, for real, for real this time. Wow. All right, let's take a look at the starting order. Alexander Tederkin starts in the first position. Will Dunbar starts second. Claudio Bardelli Jr. starts in the third position. Fourth is Zachman Casey. Denis Yashenko starts in the fifth position. Spencer Romo sixth. Dan Richter starts in the seventh position. And Antti Rossi starts in the eighth position. All right, a 50-minute race here at Lime Rock Park. Tederkin there lagging back a little bit, getting his seat belts adjusted. Again, a 1.5 mile track, a very, very fast, man, and things happen in a hurry here. Will Dunbar starting in the second position. Bardelli Jr. third. Munkasey starts in fourth. With Tederkin in the Bentley in the number 7 car. Shown as 07 on the screen there, but driving the 7 skin. So here we go, man. Pace car is off. Round number 2, a 50-minute race from Lime Rock Park.
Green flag, go, go, go.
Already 3 wide, headed into turn 1. Guys trying to vie for position. Tederkin jumps out to the lead. Dunbar in second. Munkasey third. Bardelli Jr. in fourth. On board here with Alexander running in P1 through the chicane. Got a pretty good lead here on Will Dunbar, about a 1.4 second lead already, so leaving it out all on the table right now. Take a look at Dunbar here in the Audi running in P2. Bardelli Jr. having a good battle with Zach Munkasey. Bardelli Jr. getting around Zach Munkasey, making that pass and taking over the third position. Take a look at this pass here as he beat him into the corner, out brake, and a little bit of a chicane move right there by Bardelli Jr. He sneaks through. Denis Yashenko and Antti Rossi having a battle. Antti Rossi in the Porsche. Yashenko gets by, takes over the 7th position. Antti Rossi back to 8th. More shenanigans here as we go back live. Look at that, man. Side by side, Rossi muscles his way through. Oh, these guys are all over each other. Rossi gets the worst end of that deal, contact. Take a look and see what happened. These guys were beating and banging down the straight. Rossi looks like he had gotten that, and then contact right there with Yashenko, and he comes off track. So Rossi coming off track here. Again, we'll see this again. Right here is a little bit of a shallow entry into the turn, and then Rossi kind of climbs up there, gets into Yushenko, and then spins. So right there, just a tight, high speed, and I don't know whether he got cut off or he just drifted up the track. It's hard to say from this angle. Well, he's going to have to play some catch-up now. Yushenko trying to muscle his way through. Dan Richter in the Ferrari holding on to that spot. So Dan Richter right now running in the 6th position. Yushenko running in 7th. Take a look, Claudio Bardelli Jr. running in the Ferrari, and just behind him is Zach Casey in the Porsche. Casey there onto the inside of the turn and can't make that pass. So Claudio Bardelli Jr. holding on to that spot, but I'll tell you what, man, Casey's got some company here with Romo in the Audi. Dan Richter in the Ferrari trying to muscle his way through. Man, these guys are all over the place right now. As we're taking a look at Zach Casey in the Porsche. Looking out of the back of his machine. See Spencer Romo, Dennis Yushenko, and Dan Richter running in 5, 6, and 7. Yushenko here to the inside of Spencer Romo. A couple of Audis fighting for position. Yushenko takes that spot now in 5th. Spencer Romo back to the 6th position. Go back up here with our race leader. This is Alexander Tatterkin. Got a huge lead on the field, about 10 seconds right now, so he is set up, man. He must have been ready for this race, huh? In the Bentley, so the Bentley is very, very strong here tonight. This 07 car. Will Dunbar here running in the 2nd position. Good run here for him right now. And he's got a 3-second lead over P3. So the Audi, this lead hosting USA sponsor machine, looking pretty solid here tonight in the 77 car. Actually running 88. He's 77 on the grid here. We'll see if we'll just switch over to manufacturer logo. There we go. Yushenko and Bardelli Jr. here battling it out. Little Audi versus Ferrari. Yushenko now moves up to 3rd position as Claudio Bardelli Jr. now back to 4th in the Ferrari. Casey here having some trouble. Went off track just a little bit. Missing the chicane there just a little bit, or missing the turn there a little bit, and no harm, no foul. Get that Porsche back out on track and doing just fine now. So right now, Zach Casey running in the 8th position. Antti Rossi trying to bounce back here in the Porsche after contact a little bit earlier with think that was Dennis Yushenko. They got together, and now he is trying to battle back, running in the 7th position. Bardelli Jr. has got a lot of company. Got out of the back of his car at Spencer Romo and Dan Richter. Dennis Yushenko here trying to pick up a spot. Climbing up onto the back of Will Dunbar and making that pass. So Will Dunbar now back to the 3rd position as Yushenko moves up to P2. Take a look at Will Dunbar here as he trying to close back in on Yushenko. But Yushenko a little bit loose coming off that turn down the front stretch. Coming off turn 7. Bardelli Jr. may have had some trouble here. Claudio Bardelli Jr. missing the turn, a little bit wide on the turn, and he spins around as he loses two positions, 3 positions there. Romo, Richter, and Antti Rossi get by. Wow, man, we'll take a look out of Spencer Romo's machine. You see Bardelli Jr. spinning. Dan Richter slipping through as well, and Antti Rossi starting to climb back up onto the back of these guys. Bardelli Jr. just missed the turn. Antti Rossi through the chicane, battling Dan Richter. Antti Rossi in the Porsche. So Richter now back to the 6th position. Antti Rossi in 5th. Spencer Romo here trying to move up the grid. He and Antti Rossi. I tell you what, Antti Rossi is on rails right now. He is motivated, man. He had that contact earlier, and those guys both getting around Will Dunbar. So Will Dunbar now back to the 5th position as Spencer Romo and Antti Rossi get by. Antti Rossi is on a mission. He is battling Romo. Rossi doing the crossover, trying to do the crossover through the chicane. Spencer Romo holding on to that position. Good battle here between the two of these guys. Spencer Romo running in P3. Antti Rossi running in the 4th position. Will Dunbar back to 5th. And Antti Rossi, they're going to try to outbrake him in the turn. Romo, going wide there, leaving an opening for Rossi. Rossi gets through. Romo now back to the 4th position. Rossi up to 3rd. He is on a mission. Antti Rossi clicking on all cylinders right now. It's like Zach Muncasey. Claudio Bardelli Jr. here getting after it. Little Porsche versus Ferrari. As Muncasey now moves back up to the 7th position. Bardelli Jr. back to 8th. And out here, 23 seconds ahead, is Alexander Tederkin. Dan Richter here trying to move up. Will Dunbar in the Audi just ahead as he misses that turn a little bit, and Dan Richter's going to slide through, picks up the 5th position. Will Dunbar back to 6th. So a 24-second lead for Alexander Tatterkin in the Bentley. He's starting to roll up on some lap traffic here. Get mile-and-a-half track, so things get going in a hurry here at Lime Rock Park. Dennis Shashenko here running in P3. Having trouble. He gets off track into the grass and spins this car way off track. Doesn't hit anything, but man, he's going to lose some positions there. Spencer Romo is going to get by. So Yashenko here trying to get back out on the track and collect his thoughts. 35 minutes left to go in the race. As he is now back to the 4th position. And Tatterkin really pushing this car pretty hard. He gets off track right there. Goes a little bit wide off turn 7, down the front stretch. Crossing the start and finish line, man, he is carrying a lot of speed. In the Bentley. Climbing up on to Claudio Bardelli Jr., Zach Casey running in 7th and 8th. Through the chicane here, and he's looking and say, hey man, I need to get around. He's got a pretty comfortable lead here, so there's really no, I don't think, a huge amount of worry here. Urgency, I should say. Now he's getting around Claudio Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. going to go a lap down here. Tucks in behind as they enter turn 1. So no fooling around here at Lime Rock Park for the Bentley driver, Alexander Tatterkin. Gotta love that. Car off track there. It looked like Zach Casey missed the turn and came off track as the race leader went by. Casey was just looking at doing some mirror driving or what, but he definitely came off track. So Zach Casey, we'll take a look at this. He's in the Porsche. And he just misses right there, maybe a little bit of mirror driving through the chicane. And he's going to lose a position as Bardelli Jr. slips through. Take a look at the front of Bardelli Jr.'s machine. You see Zach Casey coming off track. Spencer Romo here in the Audi. Gets a little bit wide, and I'll tell you what, we've seen some drivers do that right in that turn. Tough turns, comes wide, gets off track. Hasn't lost any positions yet, I don't believe. It looks like he might have actually lost a couple there. Antti Rossi gets by. So far, we've only seen Tatterkin get off track one time. Make that 2. Shinko running in the second position in the Audi. And if you are watching this, and you're obviously going to be watching this on recording because we've had, looks like there were some internet issues there and lost connection to the stream. So unfortunately here, just recording this to a hard copy. I'm going to be uploading this. So if you're watching this as an uploaded copy of the race. Take a look at Dan Richter here running in P3 in the Ferrari. Kind of joined a little bit late here to the practice session, but must have been set up, ready to go. And no nonsense for him. He's usually pretty quiet on the radio. So right now running in third, but Antti Rossi right there. Those guys have swapped positions a couple times. There's Antti Rossi in the Porsche and Dan Richter running in the Ferrari. How about that, man? He's running the Arnie's restaurant scheme. How about that, huh? You gotta love that, man. Dan Richter, as he's gonna lose a position there. We're looking at the, he's got the TurnLeftTV logo on there. Oh, and he's got Boiler. Boiler, yeah. How about that? Arnie's restaurant in the Ferrari. That's awesome. Indiana guy, Purdue University guy as well. So we'll go back and look at this battle here. Antti Rossi and Dan Richter. These guys have swapped positions a couple times here. And Antti Rossi now has the preferred line going into the turn. Dan Richter making him earn it. Good clean battle there between the Porsche and the Ferrari. Rossi in third. Richter in the fourth position. Take a look at Will Dunbar here as he lets the race leader go by. Will kind of misses that chicane. Again, you know, this is a track, it seems very easy to drive. It really does, but man, it's so high speed. And also when you're letting guys go by, you know, just take your eye off the road for a split second. And then you're in a little bit of a pickle, or you can be anyway. Tatterton has been lights out here since the get-go. His first race out for us in the Bentley. 42nd, almost a 40-second lead over P2, so he is way out front. Take a look at Denis Yushchenko here running in P2 in the Audi. Rossi about 4 seconds behind him. I think those guys had a little bit of a minor scuffle at the beginning of the race. So Rossi probably wanting to get back up there and challenge this Audi for P2. Richter running in the fourth position Dunbar second, or in the 5th position. Romo in 6th. Bardelli Jr. 7th. Buncasey in the 8th position. Tedderkin out to a huge lead on the field. On board here out of turn 7. You can hear those tires starting to give up a little bit. He got out of the throttle. And now rolling up on our 4th position car. That is Dan Richter in the Ferrari. Richter going to give him some room and let him go. So blue flag. Will Dunbar on pit lane here, taking some service. Got a mandatory 4-tire change, and you get a change to a different compound. And it takes a while to get things done on pit road. So Will Dunbar, the first of our drivers to make a pit stop here. Tedderkin is P1. Now to a pretty big lead there, 40-second lead. Now that has diminished a little bit. Yushenko starting to chip into that somewhat. Antti Rossi running in P3. You see Will Dunbar finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. Spencer Romo now on pit lane. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Denis Yushenko running in P2. Got about a 40-second gap there between he and P1, and he's sort of maintained that gap, if not chipped into it a little bit. So good run here for him, P2. Antti Rossi continuing to kind of maintain that 5-second gap there between he and Yushenko. And all you really got to do, man, miss a couple turns, and you're right back in the hunt there for P2. So Rossi right now running in the 3rd position. Dan Richter running in P4. He is 1 lap down. 11 seconds to P3. And we'll see where that stands there. So about 11.5 seconds or so between he and P3. So Dan Richter in the Ferrari. Good 4th place run here for him so far. Zach Buncasey, he has had a very, very busy race here today. And now running in the 5th position. So in the Porsche, this guy does a lot of racing. It does a lot of streaming from his cockpit. I think he's got a stream up right now, if I'm not mistaken. So he races stock cars. I've seen him race some Indy cars as well. He races these GT3 cars, and he just flat out get in and drive anything. So he loves racing. He likes streaming. And, definitely check his channel out on Twitch. That is Zach Buncasey. Bardelli Jr. here getting around a little bit wide, gets into the grass. We've seen a lot of drivers have trouble there, and sliding through the grass there. Hopefully stays out of the forest. Might have hit a tree there. Alexander Tedderkin, the leader. And he's had some trouble here, so Tedderkin coming around. That's going to close the gap somewhat, so 32 seconds now. So he's lost about 8 seconds there. He might end up letting driver get back up there on the lead lap. Looks like Dan Richter had gotten back around. Bardelli Jr. still having some issues here, man. I'll tell you what, maybe he's boogered. Oh, there's contact right there. Contact. Spencer Romo comes off track. He got right into the back of Bardelli Jr. Let's take a look at that. Bardelli Jr. in the Ferrari. Spencer Romo in the Audi. And I think Bardelli Jr. is going to come in and pit. He gets over to the right, and maybe Romo didn't know and ends up getting into the back of him and spins him around. So on board here with Spencer Romo, and he's going to get into the back of Bardelli Jr. and gives him a little bit of a shove. Maybe he's just trying to help him in pit lane. And Bardelli Jr. just pits his car. Watch this. On board here with Bardelli Jr. Watch these hands work the wheel here. He's going to get rear-ended. Watch this. Oh, he's trying to keep that car straight. That thing coming around. And he just says, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll just go right into the pits. I think he was making a pit stop, and Romo did not hear him. It signaled that he was coming down pit lane. So Alexander Tederkin, 34-second lead. Probably boogered up those tires just a little bit over Denis Yashenko. Now Tederkin coming down pit lane. Excuse me. Yeah, Tederkin is making a pit stop here in the Bentley. So now Tederkin is on pit lane, and Yashenko, he might end up taking the race lead here because it takes a while to pit this car. Dan Richter shown in third. 20 minutes left to go in the race. As we take a look at Tederkin on pit lane, sort of. As Yashenko now to the race lead in the Audi. And that those pit stops, man, they take forever. My heavens, man. I guess I'm used to stock car pitting, where it's only going to take, 14, 15 seconds. Assuming you don't have any damage. But Tederkin on pit lane, taking some service here. He has no damage to his car, so there's not going to be any damage need to be repaired, but now back out on track. Tederkin now back to the third position in that Bentley. So he's made his pit stop here with a little under 19 minutes left to go. So the race leader is Denis Yashenko. Dan Richter now in second. Tederkin in the third position. Antti Rossi in fourth. Will Dunbar picking up fifth position as Zach Casey was on pit lane, taking service. There's the Tederkin machine. There is Zach Casey in the 29 car. Got the TurnLeftTV logo on there. We got to like that. Give him some bonus points. As Will Dunbar now in the fifth position. So back up here with our race leader, Denis Yashenko. Dan Richter second. Alexander Tederkin in the third position. Antti Rossi fourth. Will Dunbar rounding out the top five. A little under 18 minutes left to go. Richter coming down pit lane. He is now making a pit stop here in the Ferrari, so 17 minutes left to go, and Dan Richter is on pit lane. Yashenko's lead is a 39-second lead. Has he made a pit stop yet? I frankly don't know that answer. I don't think he has. Rossi now in the third position. So Rossi in the Porsche. A couple Porsches running together. Rossi here running in P3. Zach Casey running in the sixth position just in front of him on the track. So looking out of the front of Rossi's machine as he goes through the chicane. Will Dunbar now up to the fourth position as Dan Richter finish up his pit stop. So Will Dunbar in the 88 now in P4. Dan Richter back to fifth. Take a look at Spencer Romo here in the Audi, running in the seventh position. His first race out. Dan Richter now putting pressure on Will Dunbar for position. Dan Richter down to the inside. Will Dunbar on that outside through this S. And Richter picks up that spot, moves up to the fourth position, and Will Dunbar in the Audi falls back to fifth. Again, take a look at Zach Casey in the 29 car running in P6. Just a little under 15 minutes left to go, 14 and a half minutes left to go. Dennis Yashenko is on pit lane, taking service here. And that, I suspect, is going to give Tatterkin the lead again. So Yashenko on pit lane here in the Audi, with just about 14 minutes left to go in the race. So these pit stops can feel like they are taking an eternity, as Alexander Tatterkin back to the race lead. Lead's certainly not what it was before. It is now down to about 24, 25 seconds. As Rossi now moves to P2. See Dennis Yashenko finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track here. He's now in P3. So Tatterkin in the Bentley, rolling up on Dan Richter. Dan Richter running in the fourth position. There's Tatterkin in the 7 car. P1 coming up on Dan Richter in the Ferrari. And ends up putting him a lap down. Tatterkin coming off track there a little bit, kind of an odd time to make a pass, but Richter didn't really fight him very hard. Rossi, man, after bouncing back, he really found himself in last position after getting into a little bit of a scuffle there earlier in the race, but has bounced back, now running in the second position. Yashenko running in third, Richter running in the fourth position, Dunbar in fifth. Just under 12 minutes left to go. Antti Rossi running in P2. Dennis Yashenko. We saw those guys had a little bit of a little battle earlier in the race. What will happen if now Dennis Yashenko is on a little bit fresher stuff than Antti Rossi. So what's going to happen if he runs up onto the back of him and these guys start rekindling that battle? So aboard here with the Audi, Dennis Yashenko running in P3, out of the gas there a little bit. Had to do a little correction through turn 7. That Porsche ahead looks very, very fast. You see Yashenko a little bit faster there through that turn. Closing in on Antti Rossi. Rossi there out of the gas there on that left-hander. It's an uphill chicane, very fun portion of the track, a very challenging portion of the track. Turn 7 down the front stretch. Antti Rossi and Dennis Yashenko battling it out. P2, P3. Yashenko a little bit faster right now, I think, than Antti Rossi is. And we're going to see more contact. Very tight right here. Looking out of the back of Antti Rossi's Porsche. At Yashenko. Again, you're looking at just under 10 minutes left to go. Yashenko's a little bit faster. Fresher stuff than Antti Rossi. It's a great battle right now between P2 and P3. Antti Rossi in the Porsche. Dennis Yashenko in the Audi, battling for the second position. Great little battle right there. We get another good battle here on the track, and this is Claudio Bardelli Jr., Spencer Romo. Bardelli Jr. in the Ferrari. Spencer Romo comes off track, and Bardelli Jr. is going to get by. So Romo missed the turn and comes around. Take a look at Romo. He just gets off track. We've seen a lot of guys do this in this turn. Good news is there's a lot of room there. You don't end up getting into anything pretty much. So Spencer Romo now back on track. Take a look at this. Alexander Tedekin, he gets off track. Oh, straight into the tire barrier. The race leader straight into the tire barrier. Oh, my heavens. Tedekin, take a look at this again. Tedekin comes off track, man. He swings a little bit wide, gets in the grass, and cannot turn that car, and straight into the tire barrier. And now he's trying to play recovery here because that car is boogered up. There is no doubt about that. And the gap now between Tedekin and Antti Rossi is 3 seconds. So Antti Rossi can now see his competition up front. He has got to worry about what's behind him as well. Tederken's had some trouble here late in the race. Antti Rossi closing in on the race leader. The race leader's got some huge trouble right now, and he's coming down pit lane. Tederken's coming down pit lane. Antti Rossi now taking the race lead in the Porsche. And he has got a battle. Oh! Yashenko muscling his way through. This is not going to make Antti Rossi very happy, that's for sure. Yashenko muscles his way through. Antti Rossi. Oh, man, more contact right there. And both those guys spin. Oh, my God. Both those guys spin. Oh, my heavens, man. All that was brought on by the fact that, we'll take a look at this again. All that was brought on by the fact that Yashenko had some trouble and it came down pit lane. Gave up the race lead. Antti Rossi. Watch this, man. I'll tell you what, Yashenko muscle his way through. I'm not sure Rossi's going to be very happy about that. Rossi gets, those guys get together again. Rossi says, okay, I'll beat you into the chicane. Oh! Beat you into the turn, and they both spin. Rossi comes out on the worst end of that deal. Oh, my heavens, man. Yashenko now to the race lead. 6-second gap there. And I'll tell you what, Antti Rossi is fired up right now. He is absolutely livid. Spencer Romo gaining a spot now with Tederken on pit lane. Tederken has a huge amount of pit stop here still to go. He's still making a pit stop here, so he's got some huge damage to that car. Spencer Romo now in the 7th position. Tederken, the leader of the race, is now in 8th. You've got to be kidding me, man. Spencer Romo in the Audi. He comes off track. He misses the chicane. Man, and we had some huge changes here late in the race. Let's take a look at that one more time, and that final battle right there between the two of those guys, and Rossi into the tire barrier, back in that car into the tire barrier. Oh, no. Yashenko now out to a 7.5-second lead over Antti Rossi. Dan Richter now in the 3rd position. Will Dunbar in 4th. Zachman Casey running in the 5th position. So Dan Richter here running in P3. In the Ferrari. So now you just sort of, if you're close to somebody, maybe make a run at him. But other than that, just maybe play a little defense if somebody's close to you, and kind of finish where you are. And I think that's what's going to go on with a lot of these guys. So Yashenko continuing to open up that lead. But I tell you what, if he overdrives this car, spins out, Antti Rossi is there. Antti's obviously got a lot of damage he's dealing with and not able to close the gap on Yashenko. Antti Rossi running in P2. Dan Richter in 3rd. Will Dunbar in the 4th position. Zachman Casey running in 5th. So Tederken, huge amount of trouble for him in this race, late in the race. So Denis Yashenko here closing up on Will Dunbar. Making that pass, so Will Dunbar still in the 4th position, now 1 lap down. Yashenko opening up that gap on Antti Rossi. 2 minutes left to go, just over 2 minutes left to go here in the race, and Yashenko kept himself in position. A little bit of aggressiveness, I think, a couple times in this race, and Antti Rossi comes out on the worst end of the deal both times. So Yashenko is the race leader. Rossi second, Richter in third, Will Dunbar in the fourth position, Zachman Casey in fifth. Take a look at Zachman Casey here in the Porsche running in P5. The number 29 car having a pretty good run here with the top 5 run. Bardelli Jr. running in the 6th position in the Ferrari. He's had a pretty eventful race, but he's kind of hung in there and now running in P6. So some late race shenanigans. The leader making a mistake, getting into straight into the tire barrier, and he had by far the strongest car here tonight, but had some trouble. Antti Rossi took the lead shortly thereafter. Denis Yashenko muscles his way through. Some shenanigans between the two of those guys. And Richter, pretty quiet race for him, running in P3. So I think you're going to see that this is probably the last lap here for Yashenko. Will Dunbar letting Antti Rossi go by. Antti definitely dealing with some back-end damage to that machine. Trying to limp this car home. So Denis Yashenko is going to come away with the victory here at Lime Rock Park. So congratulations to Denis Yashenko on getting that victory. He definitely didn't bring that car home in one piece, so to speak. Antti Rossi finishes in the 2nd position. Looks like Dan Richter is going to end up in P3. So congratulations to Denis Yashenko. So a good run there for Denis Yashenko on getting that race win. So we'll take a look at the session results. Maybe. There we go. Denis Yashenko finishes in first. Antti Rossi finishes in the 2nd position. Dan Richter brings that car home in 3rd. Will Dunbar 4th. Zachman Casey finishes in the 5th position. Claudio Bardelli Jr. finishes in 6th. Spencer Romo finishes in the 7th position. And Alexander Tatterkin finishes in 8th. So congratulations to Denis Yashenko on his race victory. So we've got to change that there a little bit. There we go. So congratulations to Denis Yashenko on his victory here at Lime Rock Park. And wow, interesting battle there that he had with Antti Rossi. So good race there for him. Don't forget, next week coming up will be Okayama. Very fun track there. It's interesting track on the 24th of July. Race number 3 headed your way. Don't forget, next Friday we got Riverside International coming up in the High Octane Racing League Bushwhacker Series. Very fun track, man. Road course, the only road course in the series this season, I believe. Race number 5. Actually, we might be at Watkins Glen this season as well. Check that schedule there. No, Riverside's the only one, looks like. So, race number 5, 35 laps from Riverside, coming up on Friday, July the 16th. Race starts at, when does it start? Oh, wait a minute, that's July 16th. Next week, July the 23rd, right? 22nd. 23rd. Got to change the date on that. Should be a fun race. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We've had a little bit of a tough battle here tonight with the... looks like we've had a little tough battle with the connection issues and so forth. I want to appreciate people who've kind of stuck it out with us. Appreciate that. And again, thanks for coming in and joining me here on the YouTube channel. Whether you're watching this live or we're watching it live, and now we're going to watch it back on recording. But we had some connection issues here today. We've had a ton of weather issues here in central Indiana, so tough break there for us. But nonetheless, we'll always record these to a hard copy and upload them on YouTube. And that's if you're watching this race, that's how you're watching it. And again, thanks for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. That's going to do it for us tonight here on TurnLeftTV. I want to say thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. I'm out of here.